Because last game, right, it was the other way around. Force drops Vortex as a solo. Another game where one of them just falls early, leaves the other one in a solo predicament. And so I guess it's Force's time to flap his wings. A really nice rotation. I like this way he's moving. Oh, he's actually going to look to take the fight. Understandably, 115 below. He sees Stompy a solo in this box, thinks he can do the damage, and does do the damage. Putting himself above the threshold now, just barely, but still going to be able to make a way to zone. Swaps out the ODM gear for Kinetic Blade, and continuing to take fights. Oh wow, okay, he's finding all the solos, which is very fortunate for him. But he has to make it count. No, the augment almost catches him out.
He's good though. He's good though. The issue is these solo fights not going to be as isolated the closer you move in the zone. So X-Force, that'll be one of the last clean fights you get. Now it's up to you versus every duo on the field.
Yeah, making space as well when he gets into zone, very much needed. Because there's a solo in this kind of zone where everyone is congested. You cannot afford to get caught out, has to hold off with the materials he has. And the metal's going to start to run out soon. He needs to hide behind this wall, use the heals available. But this game is still within reach for him to make something out of it.
Tropex and Huddy as well. I mean, these guys have just completely flown under the radar. 4th place, and they're going to be the ones trying to hold out X-Force from getting into that top 5. Don't know how they've been this consistent, but once again, catching themselves right beside another zone. All they have to do is move. We get to tune in exactly and see how they do it. We've seen a little bit of what they do when they're on a high ground there. This time, though, it's Kinetic Blades off the ground.
Yeah, and you can see their path displayed is so clean, so effortless. Nobody looking at them. And they make their way into zone rather safely, or at least Tropex does. Needs to regroup with Hutty.
Bunch of people on the mini-map turning from arrows into plus signs. Some issues in this rotation for this zone. Half of a mountain in the way. You have to be very precise as to where you land. Cosmo up top with Jay. I feel like they've been in the position of power before. This time they have to convert. If you're staying up here, you got to build a base that's really high. They have the match for it, but will they be able to maintain all the way towards the very end of the game?
A lot of that will be determined by this first move in zone, which pulls in their favor. They can start to think about ramping up to height and just controlling the lobby, pressuring those second height teams, pressuring anybody that looks like they could be a threat to their high ground. They see Metal, they start taking shots. They see Brick on second height, they start shooting. Toos, Pootrick. It might not necessarily be a team that's going to push for height instantly, but you know they'll always keep their eye on it. If they spot weakness, they'll take it.
Trying to find a way to solo clutch into the top 5.
X-Force, very desperate to make this game count for the duo. The games are running out. Has to be a play made down below on Surge. So he has to start thinking about that. That's been something he's done already, and he's answered the call.
Arthur and Combat right ahead of him in 6th place. 300 damage above, and so many materials. This could be a top 5 finish just inside this game. Vico and Kylie managed to just creep by the top 10. They're moving around the right side as well, keeping the zone behind their back. Genius in terms of relieving a lot of stress and eyes from their rotation. For X-Force though now, Surge is hitting. He's looking for some shots. It's on the Arthur. The duo right in front of him, but it's not enough. 116 below, 92 now. He has to mini up. This is his last chance to keep moving in.
It's such a shame.
No.
You know he knows what he's doing, but he just doesn't have what it needs to be able to actually play the way he wants, play with the freedom he wants. He needs his teammate alive, he needs more materials, he needs to be above Surge. Kylie, Vico, right now it's up to Kylie to potentially save their season, make their season, but continue to stay alive at this point, because if he doesn't have a big game here, it's just going to make that last game oh so more difficult. Cosmo, still up above on height. Jay finally regrouping with him, but there's still so much action down below. Players jumping their way in through boxes, eyedrop and map. They're not up on height, but they are here clearing out these mid-ground layers.
It's a pseudo bounce back, kind of really against the side of so many old builds. So a lot of teams who were ahead, just like eyedrop, turn around and go instantly crazy for box fights. Crazy for eye drop, no builds. Just one. A single ramp maybe in a box with a sport protection. Phases in but finds nothing. Down below, a few more shots. Cade, 122 to the face. Matt finds his way right beside him.
I'm surprised he doesn't run in there and just really try to go for it. Wanted to pick up the match though.
It's a difference in composure. They're looking to just make sure they stay side by side. They're the best when they look the same way. 2 pumps instead of 1.
Ahmed, tu te calmes.
A little. And now leader is lost in the build down below. Jake Cosmo up top are looking so good. Out of resources, out of time. Unfortunately, Matt and I drop fall.
Look who it is though, still alive in this game. Rox and Robad. We know the kind of shots they were hitting earlier. Will they collide with Hen and Paco? Both teams on similar layers. Desi though, he's gonna get cleaned up by Wox. This guy's been an animal in this game and he's looking for more. Has to pop that slur.
Has to make sure he doesn't overheat inside all these builds though. Comeback, Artor still popping. Looking for their next targets to take. Down below is Hen, able to escape. Top 5 situation.
So nice. Clearing out their layer, making sure they have control there. Paco and Hen getting split up, getting forced into zone. Hen in the backside, gonna look to Katana his way back in. Needs to be careful of that height team. It's Arthur he takes out, looks for Comeback, but Comeback return fire. Comeback's still alive, Comeback's still kicking, but he's using that med miss in the zone.
Walks absolutely unleashed, does not have Robab by his side. Looking for the next shot, no builds available, just the bullets. And there's one that lands, he's taken out. High Six, him and Donde looking to play that heal off as well. Jane Cosmo up top. Convex stops for the interruption, and yeah, he is gonna just go down. What does that mean for Jane Cosmo though? Do they have what it takes to be able to just heal off up against what it seems to be Isaacs? He has a slurp already popping. It's all about who gets that sickness first. We'll see if it's enough.
Jay has so much though. Look at the med miss. Look at the slurp juices. Once he pops this, he's got a couple splashes as well. Isaacs has done a brilliant job, but as long as storm sickness isn't a problem, this should be clear and easy for Jay. Isaacs is desperately trying to find anything, but the last of his heals will wear off.
Wow,
Jay
incroyable.
and Cosmo with the easiest game they've played all day long. Chilled up above from height. They took it early. From about the 8th zone, they were up there in a position to take height. Zone pulled in their favor, and they never looked back. Shayo, an easy win for that team.
For Jay and Cosmo, it's all about hard work pays off from game 1 all the way to game 4. Now they've had a little bit of influence as to what's happening in this end game. They're one of the first duos to get healings as the game starts. This is a very bold circle.
Incroyablement incroyable, mec. Incroyablement.
A lot of the time when teams are contested, they almost get sort of disqualified
C'est
from
qui?
that sort of a
J'ai
see
fait
what it means to him. Very, very happy, ecstatic, and understandably so. Such a difficult thing to do.
They're going all over the finals, and they were top 5 to end that game, so that opens up a lot for the top 10. Actually changes the way the entire field looks inside EU Surgery.
Going into the last game of which teams are going to move into those top 5 positions, the analysts have all the answers.
I like to think that we do. I hope that we do here because, I mean, great point made. The leaderboard is really going to change up now. Jay and Cosmo going through there. Greek Victory Royale. Obviously, Storm working in favor makes a massive, massive difference. They're going through the finals. Love seeing the reaction as well, then, Mini. They're going all the way to next weekend.
Couldn't be more happy for them. What a performance. Yeah. And we haven't seen that yet today. We haven't seen a team just dominate high ground without any problems. They've just been enjoying it, and they were all the way up on that, doing a great job as well. At this stage, I thought, actually, they might not have enough in the tank to win at the heal-off, but they just had enough. It was all.
They had enough.
Allô,
they
ça
got it
va?
done, but this is Surge Week, right? There's only 5 matches. There's not 6, so there's only one
Allô,
more opportunity to make it count. So now the question is,
Ah, tu parles à
who's
même
gonna be
place,
able to
non?
take it in that last match?
I know, it's a great question. He won next, I can't believe it.
Ah, moi aussi, je suis en
Average
live.
placement there as well, 23rd or so. I mean, this is why this Surge Week is so pivotal as well. We talk about Victory Royales, you know, consistency is great. But Victory Royales, that just changes everything. You just have one game, it goes in your favor. Mini
Le
is
zéro
everything,
viewer,
all the difference
comme
here.
d'hab.
Obviously, going ahead now, our players are
Toi,
thinking
t'en as
to be
beaucoup, je
around
crois.
about that last game.
Yeah.
What is happening, players at home right now? They're definitely not reacting the same way Jay and Cosmo just did. What are they thinking?
They are probably a little bit nervous. I think I would be. Maybe that's why I'm not playing in this because you know, I'm definitely haven't got the
J'ai
mental for
beaucoup
that. But
d'abonnés,
it's very difficult
enfin
in
de
this situation.
follow,
You have to go
mais
all out
pas,
if you're in that bottom half of the leaderboard. Even if you're outside of the
mais
top
pas
10, you kind of have to think,
de
you know what, we have to take the risk
viewers,
here. We
c'est
have to go for
incroyable
the
ça.
plays and try and go for that victory.
Yeah, that's the issue, right? It
Ah,
really
je t'ajoute
depends
ton
where
ami,
you
là.
are on that leaderboard. If you're down below, you have to play more for the VR, like Taka was saying. Go for some better loot, maybe try and take a
C'est
vault
quoi?
or do whatever you
Roro
can.
Gaming, ma
But
chaîne
looking at the
YouTube.
standings too, if you're close
Comment?
to that top
Roro
5,
Gaming.
then it's all about consistency.
Roro
Yeah, let's
Gaming.
take a look at the standings right now because this is
Tout en minuscule.
Non, c'est Roro après espace
Our
de
leaders 224 points, which is quite a significant lead over. We see sixth place there. Axe Force Vortex, we talked on the load today as well. But
Ah ouais, les
Fortnite.
Fortnite. Regarde les
this is
objectifs
really
sur
looking
Fortnite.
meaty up top here. Look at the
Ah, le
eliminations
pire,
alone here.
dans ton live.
You need to get a lot of those. The points are so pivotal at this point in the competition.
Yeah, it really is. And for Comeback and Arthur, they've been performing very well all day, and that's definitely reflected in the leaderboard. Of course, they have 18 eliminations, fragging out where it matters most, but also being consistent in the placements where it matters most as well. I'm really impressed with that. They've been able to kind of balance both places.
Yeah, I mean, with the amount of points they have now in that #1 spot, you know, they're feeling happy, they're feeling confident, but looking at a duo like Axe Force and Vortex, that we saw them one spot away from the top 5, you know that the pressure is on for that duo.
I think in a way as well with the
Floki et Clément, ils ont gagné une game aussi.
Maybe there's a side of it where you're feeling kind of confident you can break in, but you see that kind of 20-point deficit right now, Mini. Some players, I guess, will be galvanized by it. Others will kind of fall at the wayside. But it's going to be really exciting to see how this experience, I think, affects things massively here as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for Arthur and Comeback, these guys are just enjoying themselves all the way up on the top of the leaderboard. They couldn't be more happy. I think it was a third place finish for them right there. So Arthur just picking up refreshes as well. And they didn't quite have what it took just there at the end. It was difficult for them.
Yeah, I mean, Tus and Putrick as well, a team we talked about already, managing to maintain that second spot right now on the leaderboard. And again, another team that has been, you know, consistent today as well in play style. They've managed to kind of work together cohesively as a team, and that's really important in this surge we kind of guess break down as well.
Right, chemistry, synergy, it's key, and Putrick Tus have been showing exactly how to do it correctly, making use of rotations with the kinetic blade, making use of players, opponents rotating in to get tags, to get that damage, and even those refreshes to set them up for the late game. And you can see how close together they're playing and how effective it really is.
Yeah, I mean, their positioning right now is absolutely perfect. We saw them there just a little bit down below on the Storm Surge, but they just positioned themselves just ahead of one of those teams that had to rotate. They delayed their rotate. They said, you know what, we'll let you guys rotate in first, but we'll take advantage of all your help.
Yeah, it's managing those box fights as well is really important. The fact that you're kind of almost like you're kind of a spider waiting for the kind of the fly to come into the trap there as well. You're kind of inviting it in, and kind of you don't need to push it all the time. Sometimes you can be a little bit more passive and wait for the kind of enemy to come into you there, Carter.
Yeah, it really depends on the situation, but patience is really key. And looking at the third place duo, Tropex and Trash, with 178 points, you know, they're feeling comfortable, they're feeling happy, but not as much as Arter in the first place spot. They have to do a decent game here, and you can see they also are playing together well, but when you lose a duo partner and you're all left out as a solo, the pressure is on, the nerves increase, and the nerves are going to be at an all-time high, seeing that there's just one more shot.
They have to make it to endgame as a duo in this next game if they want a chance at staying in that top 5, because I think it was about 18 points difference between them and 5th place, so they are very, very close to being dropped out if they're not careful. If this game isn't good, I mean, what is it, 146, 178? It's not guaranteed yet, so they need a solid performance.
They certainly do. I mean, teams like Hen and Paco, as we talked about, who haven't managed to quite break in the points-wise right now as well. It's go for broke time. It's the final game of this. I mean, do you think that's the kind of mentality now? It's like, we just have to go for the victory royale. We cannot mess around now.
Yeah, they have to. I mean, that last game was really good from them. It was probably their best game of the day, but it's too little too late. They can't play for consistency anymore. Hen, you have to go for that win. They have to take those early fights, get Storm Surge sorted early. If they do, they could be on for a winner.
That's the issue, because you have to make more risky plays. When you're put into that position where you need the victory royale to finish out on top in that last match, you have to take the riskier plays that are going to benefit you in the long run. But the issue is, with higher risk, there's going to be a higher possibility of getting knocked out.
There certainly is. For you guys at home as well, you have a front row seat to the very last game here on Surge Week in EU. Everything to play for. There are 6 places left. One's going through Victory Royale. The other 5, it's all about the points. Who will be consistent? Let's find out. Let's head over to Shio and 11 for game number 5.
Okay. Game 5.
The last chance. The final game. Some of these teams will be in the grand finals, some of them will not. One more spot available for the Victory Royale winner. What a game it's going to be. We've seen it so many seasons, Shio.
This is where things get crazy. Retakes on retakes. Absolute desperation. You can taste it in the air in that final game of Surge Week.
Look, some of these previous games, we've not seen madness on height like we have in previous years. This game, though, you've got to take it. If you aren't close to that top 5, you have no excuses then to just look up to the skies and see if you can take it. Of course, unless you have enough heals to heal up. We can't get ahead of ourselves, right? That's, you know, in about 25 minutes or so. We've still got time. We have to get there. And for the journey to get there, you have to win off Spawn, Lazarek, Mikey, up against Hen and Paco. And again, a battle that Hen and Paco have been pretty successful at. 50-50. Oh no! Hen picks up the shotgun, and all he has to do is connect to the shot. Misses a couple times, unlike Hen.
Waouh, comment il a mis. Ouais. Il s'est fait fail. Oh, le gros fail. Oh, les deux fails gratos. Waouh.
Ah putain, ça m'a fait déconnecter. Il y a trop de monde en fait. En fait, il a trop de monde. C'est abusé. Il a trop de monde en fait. Ça m'a coupé mon... Ça m'a coupé. Il arrive aussi à 8K. Ah putain, je suis dégoûté. Mais mémoire du stockage, ça me met mémoire du stockage. Je sais pas pourquoi ça me met ça. Je sais pas si ça me le fait que à moi ça ou à plusieurs personnes. Oh putain, c'est grave chiant ça, ouais.
Game and then that's what gets them total correct, unable to make the finals.
Speaking of switch ups, so you see Carrot and Bloomy, they've decided to get involved in some of the Kenjutsu action. They're not happy about how Tropex and Hutty have been doing their thing here. And if you let Carrot cook, I've been waiting to say that, you might find yourself in a world of hurt. Hutty and Tropex have been doing so well today, but if this fight doesn't go their way, it would all mean nothing.
It's all right, all right. Back up, little buddy. We got top 5 to defense. You want to fight? That's cool. But this time, Kenjutsu's not going to really stay inside the circle for too long. Nice to see insight as to how Tropex and Honey end up starting their games. And this is why, yeah, they're so consistent. Because having the spot, having that mobility, especially the purple variety, the epic variety is nuts.
So many spawns there that you can use. So many times you can roll that dice and get what you want. For Comeback and Artur though, they go down. That is really, really rough. This was the team in first place coming into this game. They were the ones most secure in their pursuit of a top 5 consistency placement. And now they go down, no more points are going to be added. Is their position going to hold, Shio?
64 points ahead of the competition of 5th place of Gavix and Schmecky. They're at 224 and 5th place is at 160. So as long as no one gets above 224 points more than 5 times, they should be fine. But this is a very tricky one.
Very tricky indeed. Look, I'm with you in the sense of I think it will hold.
Yeah.
I think it will hold. But if you're them, they will be eagerly watching this game. Like, they've never been so locked into an FNCS broadcast the way they're going to be watching this game, hoping that it can hold.
I mean, best case scenario, some of the other top 4s also qualify, right? So that gives them a little bit of breathing room as well. That point total just taken out of the entire game.
Yeah, they're going to be rooting for some of those guys in that top 5 to win this game. If that happens, boy, oh boy, it would be good for them. This fight, though, it's evolved into, I say evolved, maybe devolved, because Robus and Raxi have gotten involved in this one, and it's such a mess now. It's not what we were seeing earlier in these games, but again, this last game always a funny one. Carrot dropping down now. Rooney's nowhere to be found, it seems, and Tropics and Hutty maybe going to get their revenge. No, Carrot just getting away, and now Tropics being punished as a result of it.
This is just Kinetic Blades and ODM gear. We're watching a Fortnite trailer in game number 5 right now. Not a single shot from either team really pushed through. Yeah, Hutty down. This is going to be so bad for the duo, but we've seen them come back from these positions even later on in the game, so not going to be the worst of scenarios. Tropics really just looking for this elimination, and yeah, once again, Carrot, cooked, broiled, have it your way. It is what it is for the duo. All it is now is Tropex trying to get reality back into his grasp, trying to get his duo back alive.
I'm sad. I'm a big Looney fan, so seeing them go out, that hurts me. But what hurts to see is this. Oh my.
No way. I thought it'd be full kinetic. Elvis gave him a little bit of respect.
But then it's so hard, like, have you tried to, like, kinetic blade fight someone and whip out your shotgun? There's always, like, that delay where you're like, okay, it's over for me. Still, though, Elvis stays composed, stays calm, and hits the shot. But the silver lining, right, if you are Hutty and Tropics, is that they're not both out of the game, right? Hutty's down, but Tropics is still alive. He can still be rebooted. Again, they're in the top 3. They need to have a good game. They're not as safe as the likes of Comeback and Arthur.
Thing is, though, game to game, they're very rich and secure. They travel across that bridge and get a lot of their metal. They're able to keep pushing forward and play their game. Have to be stuck on a reboot for Hutty now. That's going to be tough. Yes, you get to have your duo alive, but when are you actually playing the game?
Especially because of how far the zone's going, right? We're moving up towards the north. Every single second counts. The timing is not there for them. That's really going to hurt their game.
Yeah, first time we've seen Mega City have to move this early. These guys had good real estate the entire time. The prices were going up. They were looking really good to just stay in this POI. Saw Grolls end up coming in late and just taking out team after team. But that will not be the case. First time we're seeing really an EU competition go this far north this fast.
Cooping Cades. Many had as an outside shot to qualify. And they're going to really have to do it from way on the outside to make it happen. Another team many people had as a lock, Vico and Kylie, haven't quite been able to get the job done, been slipping away at times. But Taco, tell us, what has been going on with this team in this game?
Well, even leading up to their current circumstances, Vico and Kylie feel a lot like the calm before the storm. Just trying to prioritize making sure that they are able to close in on having nice surge tag damage. That way they can capitalize on just focusing solely on their rotations, because this is a team, they're on the cusp right now, Levin. They are currently in 6th place, tied with Axeforce and Vortexers. They need to break into that top 5 for consistency. It's all or nothing.
All or nothing indeed. Thank you so much, Taco, for that insight. And yeah, calm before the storm, I think, is a perfect way to describe it. I could also say like a V8 engine we're waiting to hopefully not overheat. These guys have torque. They have power that goes deep into the end game. The issue, Levin, is that they just stay online sometimes for so long. They end up making these few mistakes in zone 10-11 that costs one teammate their life. Suddenly, Vigo Kylie, who we saw 30 seconds ago on a POV, who had max mats, who had position, are one teammate less and in an absolute shambles position. So they need to hold on to in this end game is control. The checklist is to stay the same. Looks like it is so far. You need to keep that calm and never see the storm.
It's never a guarantee in Fortnite, though. Always going to be variables that they can't quite control. And they've struggled to control already today, right? That's why they're not sitting comfortably in the top 5. They are just on the outside. Came into this game tied on points with Axels and Vortexers.
I mean, we could talk about what are things that you can do to solidify your spot, to be able to convert all the way towards the end. For some of the winners we've seen so far, right? It's when you get that bounce back, when you're in a position, get ready to win, get ready to have control, build up sky high, do it Jay, Cosmo style, right? In other words, even if you're like, you know, in a clutch position like Jerky, know when to actually shoot your gun. I feel like every duel here just tries to do too much when they're able to. Option A, B, C, and D, lose scope of that win. Instead of this rotation, uninterrupted. moving towards the right side, making it look absolutely dead, but as soon as they get the circle, a few duels will be in their way. The ODM gear will need a little bit of a recharge.
Yeah, the problem is, right, a couple seasons ago, that rotation, cash money. This season, though, they made that rotation thinking they're going to end up on dead side. So much congestion there. They're going to either force their way through, which again is going to be risky, have to commit a couple shields, some materials, or they're just going to have to sit there in that congestion and you almost start to think, was it really worth it?
That congestion can disperse very fast. A lot of people on the right side, that dead side right now, where it is populated, are coming through from the south. 10 drops of kinetic blades available. Very fast to just rotate away, but it will be tough to keep moving through. Destiny and Coin. I mean, this has to be the game. We're used to seeing these guys in finals, or at least have a top 5 say in Surge League. It's been difficult for them to hold on to that so far.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see Dark Destiny, right? I feel like seasons ago, Dark Destiny was a scary, scary sight, right? You thought, oh no, I don't want to mess with Dark Destiny. So far, hasn't quite been that case, but they're not too far out of reach of that kind of spot. They still have hope to get into the top 5. Albeit a good game would definitely be needed.
This is our de facto kind of first place overall that's playing right now. To some Butrix, because the first place, yeah,
you've got to think they'll finish first place. You've got to think they'll overtake Comeback and Artur. These guys are about 40 or so points behind them, but very, very doable for a team that's been rather consistent today.
We talk about consistency. This is where we've consistently seen teams make mistakes. I understand you need that firepower. You want the position to really turn this game into a dub. These rifting islands, I mean, it's tough. We've seen 5 teams trying to box fight for control. We've seen people prepped up, ready to jump right in the first millisecond this island spawns in. Get absolutely just clustered down. It's tough.
This is such an interesting zone for it to spawn in as well, because where it is, it's so central in the map right now. So many different players in this area that, again, you can expect it to be contested the way it is. 3 or 4 teams all just going to have their eyes on it. And it's sort of just a dice roll of who actually is going to come out with it successfully.
I just avoid it like the plague. This is a trap. Elimination trap indeed for a bunch of these teams. Inglorious Bala will try to jump in and get his piece of the pie. Him and Alex God have been no strangers to finding room up top towards the sky. It's Rayed who goes down. It's up to User to try to save this one out. He's been Bala by himself doing all this too. Alex God right there now. And they steal big loot to be able to use.
That's really tough. And really tough on User as well. Not a player we necessarily see with, you know, incredible mechanical prowess who's going to roll in and just get 4-1 pumps. Like, that's not his game. And so this position he's been put in is going to be so difficult to traverse.
Ball of the ODM here as well is going to be able to just rotate whenever he wants to. Ryzen and Jew, I think, were the ones that split up User and Rayed as they jumped into these builds second. Now they're caught between both that higher ground team and the lower solo player User underneath their build, so their defensive hold is going to be a little bit stretched thin. Have to leave soon, though. Look at everyone else just watching this island, waiting for the rotations. It's not going to be completely in zone for now. I guarantee these teams will be able to milk this island out for whatever it has left. A few more jumping in, looking to just stay at the edge of it when they can. Now there's 4 teams on this island.
3 too many. 3 too many. Raisin and Jew are still in this one somewhat. Raisin doesn't actually have a shotgun to work with. It's not often you see that.
I wonder what this means for Surge for a bunch of the teams that are already in Surge. They expect about 6 or 7 duels to be populating a little bit of the central side, the central right side of where the zone is. They're not showing up. Because of this island, the entire game plan for all sides of the map is going to change.
Finally. Loot gonna be grabs from the flag on Bala's side. Unfortunately, not the loot he would have wanted. It's Raisin that has the pulse rifle, the most valuable bit of loot from it. But pulse rifles aside, you need materials. 8 bills on Raisin's behalf.
Oh, no.
And it is certainly not looking good at all.
What did they get out of this? 45 above as well. It's been a blunder in this position, but it's still a chance. Just to take out a team fast to be able to get up. It's just User here. And I guarantee with how long he's been here as well, no mats on his body.
Yeah, that's rough. User taken out. And the pulse rifles showing off what they can do in that instance at least. They forced their way through his box, put themselves in a better position to surge.
But no windows inside these builds either, as they're so honed in and tunneled on their own fights. To suddenly open up a blind and see outside. 20 duos now populating underneath the island. Half the lobby close by, rotating in. Walks going down, Fakey's reign ends. Marco also, who started on that island first and left immediately, not going to be able to see the end of this game or the finals.
Yeah, good job from Gabix and Shmeki. They put themselves in a really good spot. Forced their way through all that congestion, wrapped around towards the north side, and as the zone pulls towards the west, they should have a clear path to get there. Raisin and Judo still deep into it, and you're seeing just the effects of all those teams who went for the Rift Island. Now everybody's scurrying out, trying to get into the safe zone. These guys, though, trying to look for maybe some sort of loot, maybe some more whites. Jude needs to use a med kit. Raisin has med kits. Pop some heals as well.
Yeah, this is desperate. Farming a house at this point. About what, 200 mats between them. And so many duos waiting in tow. Meanwhile, in what looks to be almost a different game entirely, and Paco rotating all the way over to Blackwater Bay.
And will this be the pop-off game needed? Will this be a classic FNCS hen clutch type of game? It'd have to be a monumental clutch, Shayo. They aren't necessarily within range of getting top 5. Could they win a game? Will it be that?
Seen it before in finals from Hen. These stakes are slightly different. But the one thing that duo will have to gain is trust. That'll be tough. Over here, Chopx, Huddy. We see Huddy back in the business. What does it cost for Chopx? A little bit of inventory so far.
Back in the game, both of them been able to get themselves back up. Somewhat of a decent loadout, lower materials, but the biggest problem, you talked about timing, they just had to white line to zone. They couldn't pick their spot in the zone like we've seen other teams do. And the effect of white lining all that way is they are stuck on the most congested side possible of the zone. So many eyes on them. They're getting sprayed, they're getting lobbied. Tropex is already down. Hutty's gonna follow suit. It is over for that duo.
And one duo that'll be celebrating for that one is Comeback in our tour. That's a third place team going down. One more that can't really dethrone them all the way towards the top. Gonna be huge as they wait for more and more teams to fall down below. Dark Dusty down, so let's flip the coin. He sees Zohan. Usually he is the one to go down first in the duo, leaving his teammate to clutch, but Coin can't really find much inside these builds. Frantically editing for even just information on the right side. The top 2 teams so far have gone down. Toos and Butrick, the patience from them has let them to stay alive, but Toos is not in the circumstance. Up to Butrick to clutch it out.
Yeah, but he does have a rotation to make, and one that shouldn't be too tough to make as well. Nobody really positioned where he's trying to get to on this island. We'll take a break, stop for a second, look to take some shots. A couple extra damage for Surge won't do him too bad, especially considering he has to play this game solo, like you said. Isn't going to really connect with anything, and so maybe now needs to start thinking about actually getting ahead of zone. Doesn't want to start to allow those teams to catch up to him. We'll see now, looking out again. As those teams start to land in, he can pick his spot, landing right above Axels and Vortexes there.
I have a rare kinetic blade. I mean, dope to have that rotation. The issue is just 2 charges. That extra third can do so much, especially if you're a solo, only available to the epic variety of the weapon. No chance of really upgrading it now unless he finds an elimination in any of these boxes. Vortex versus Axe Force. This has to be the game that they just keep it absolutely alive.
They have to stay tight together. Will they do what we've seen them do at their peak? Playing for height, looking to build up to the skies. It's worked for so many of the teams in this lobby. It hasn't quite been a staple of their play in these 5 games thus far.
Requires very specific zones, requires a few bounce backs as well. Again, this next one is very close to where they're based up right now, which is huge. Lots of teams moving above them. Could see them just end it up and maybe go for the shotgun shot. Futric right above him too, so once again, he goes down, they can just end up getting points, passively staying alive as a duo and locking it in. Senna and Lucia, hard fought. You said this could be a team that gets top 5 if they were consistent enough. Right now, here's their ultimate test.
Such a tough test because they'll have to have a good game. They'll have to get a bunch of elims, and you know, we know they can make it deep into games. They know how to play their mats. They know how to stick together. The question is, though, will they get enough elims to match up to that to push them in to contention? 144 is a nice spot to be at. They shouldn't be too far out of that range. They are going to have a bit of catching up to do.
I mean, the biggest difference for everyone in this lobby, honestly, I just think is Hen and Paco are alive, and they're hungry. Haven't seen them really have that opportunity overall in the first 4 games, and looking to be a little bit close to height to see what is going down. Moneymaker, Nyan all the way up top. Wonder before, they're not going to have that chance again. Nyan tried to go for one of those floating islands. Zohan going down, a huge refresh at the perfect time for this duo.
That's a really, really nice shot, and they're looking for more. Maybe not satisfied Moneymaker, but he should be, because they have prime positioning, they have good surge. Doesn't need to make a mistake, doesn't need to overplay, overextend himself. Finasian now, and that is the fear. That is what you don't want to see. Fury and Lusher. Lusher now gonna knock on the door. He's not gonna allow the rest to come through. Moneymaker though will knock him down to the ground, and it's gonna be a trade of res. Fury going for the revive. Moneymaker going for the revive. Which one of these teams is gonna be the one to take height?
Request is set. Both sides accepted. Going for height, dangerous because one of the teammates has to heal. Moneymaker going straight towards the box. Gets Lucia down completely. It was a scam all along. Not even on both sides. He wins the trade. Moneymaker can still hold on, but it depends on if anyone had the chutzpah to really just go for heights.
Moneymaker's just ruthless. Absolutely ruthless. Fury in the back of the zone now. He's thinking, what on earth happened? We thought we had height for free. Moneymaker said, no way. Shmeki, Gabix, staying on high layers. They understand they need to stay out of the congestion all the way down below, because when you go down below, you get these situations messy right now for actual simple Texas. They don't know who is where, who's around them, but the battle for height continues. They're building up. It's Moneymaker, it's Finasian, they have it.
Fury's making them actually have a big cost to this, and they're not sure exactly where things are connected. Lots of builds used so far. Should still have enough to really lock it down for 2 or 3 zones. Map and iDrop also have a chance to go for the height, but they're really looking up towards the top. Axe Force and Vortexers and falling down. Turbo built all their mats away. Barely have any to keep using.
Barely gonna be able to make their way through the second moving zone. Don't have enough mats to claim space. He's knocking down trees in second moving zone. They need a refresh. They can't afford to just sit here. They need to figure out where the vulnerabilities are. You can see Vortex is moving towards the front. They're trying to claim space. They want to cut off that team maybe. But again, the map's running so low, they just have to look back in the zone.
On the pocket of safety, where's the grass? Do not want to get cut. Happy, shot down, another one.
What a refresh!
And everything trickles down into their box. It's not going to be super enough, but just enough to keep the rest going. Matt takes down Nyan. High ground is not going to be contained by just one team. Blocked off one, another jump bump. Matt looking to see what he can do next. Separated from drop, but he finds his teammates so fast.
And they get together, and the journey continues. Paco is in a solo situation. Barely misses that shot. That could have been exactly what he needed, because Hen isn't here. He has to do all the heavy lifting all by him lonesome. And running low on Max, it's going to have to be a drop-down angle at some point, you've got to think. Matt, though, still in the battle for height. They want it. iDrop, though, needs to stay alive, because right now, Matt is katana in his way back up, chopping height, though, and they know they want to play for it. They chop height successfully, and now they have it for themselves. But even more kinetic base players coming through. They're connecting with the shots. It's iDrop and Matt. They have height, finally.
Stabilized. Axe Force also gone down towards the bottom side of the map. Kylie, 10 HP, no builds, no chance, and not a shot in sight. He dodges. How is this even possible that he's alive? Find something here.
176 points. Is it going to be enough? 178 to hold into the top 5. Paco, though, he's going to try and do his best in this end game to try and catch up. So many more limbs would be needed, but it's not impossible for Paco. 5 limbs thus far. Can he hit a couple more? Enough Maps to stay alive. Maps knocking on the door. Will he answer? Will he run away? He's looking to drop down. Map, he has low mats. He needs to drop down as well and look to take the fight.
Everyone needs to be proactive and make something happen. So many duels down below. Up top, a big chop as iDrop might fall down. Map goes up as well, but he might inadvertently just take everyone completely down. Straight from the skies, finds one big shot. Gavix down, no chance for res. Rick Vort gets the trade.
He tried to take height, and it wasn't really possible, but drops down and deals even more damage potentially.
190 for Paco!
With so many points there, finally falls. Did he do enough? Did he and Hen make it? Steno now, trying to make a clutch for himself. 198 points, a final finish. It's Steno gets taken down by iDrop. So many teams who desperately needed points in that last game to secure top 5. All there, I don't even know who to get.
Maximum shakeup in that 5th game. So many leaders dropping early, and everyone who had a chance in that top 5 getting so many eliminations back to back to back. I haven't seen that many solos in a Surge week in so long. Anything could be possible.
Not just so many solos, but so many solos popping off, Shayo. It seemed like nobody wanted to let this season slip through their fingers. But the unfortunate thing is that for somebody, it quite literally just had, with all the heroics towards the end there, you've got to think, was iDrop and Mappy's win enough to really propel their way in through? 180 points, it looks low compared to what we saw some of those other teams get, but the victory royale will send them through. That's the important thing for that duo. We thought they'd do it, doing it on high ground, just like you expect iDrop to. But again, the points for the other teams, oh my goodness, look. If you were in that 190 range, there's hope.
Absolute hope, right? And also, in terms of our tours, all the way at 220, what are we looking at there? You know, just going down early in the entire game, maybe only playing 4 games, making it to the finals. For this team, though, we told iDrop Map they just need to play together, be on the same page. They wrote the whole book with that one.
It looked easy at times and it looked difficult at others. There were so many different teams that tried to take it, but they secured it in the final game. Easy as you do, iDrop Mappy. They will be in the finals, but who will be the other 5 teams joining them? We don't know quite yet, but we have 3 big analysts to send it all through.
Massive shout as well to show and never bring us all the hype there as well. A game 5, you can't ask for better here on Surge Week. It just keeps turning over again and again and again. iDrop's duo goes through, Map as well. They go through to the next round. Victory Royale, absolutely incredible scenes there, getting that high ground. And it was everything they needed. Takate, fantastic stuff.
Look, the one thing I do know is that iDrop and Map got the VR and are going to be going to finals. But what I don't know is what happened to the other duos. But looking how they played it out, that chop for high ground was crucial. Getting that elevated position in those last moving zones is literally what granted them that victory royale.
Yeah, they didn't have a crazy amount of builds either going for it. They had enough, and they took height at the perfect moment. Absolutely textbook stuff from them. Think back to the first game. How did we start? Juriki won. His ex-teammate, iDrop, was looking on. Quite sad, you know, like looking out of a window in the rain, you know, quite a sad moment for him. But iDrop right there at the end said, you know what, I'm going to join Juriki, my ex-teammate in Grands, and he'll be having a good time, I'm sure.
Look,
yeah, certainly.
The rain finished up, and it was a bright ending. It started off a little sad, but it ended bright and happy. So that's what you like to see, right?
Hey, we're all beaming. We're all bright and happy because it was just great to watch the way this competition is unfolded today. And we are set up for a brilliant grand finals as well here. Let's take a look here. We've got some stats on the screen. And, I mean, we can get very excited about the likes of iDrop, who is a consistent player. We've seen him time and time again. And Takata, look at this right now. Some stats on the screen here. Qualifiers for grand finals. Massive, massive for their duo.
Yeah, I mean, 2 historical FNCS victory royales, almost 200 FNCS eliminations. iDrop is a veteran, and he is going to show what he's capable of in the grand finals.
And you can see that in the best places in FNCS. Of course, we see the trio FNCS, of course, popping off back in the day. Now he's finally got a chance to show what he's worth in the duo competition. I'm excited for this team. I'm going to look out for them in grand finals, see if they can replicate the success from game 5 into grand finals. The momentum's going to be good, though, Adam.
Yeah, I mean, imagine being the last team to qualify a victory royale via Surge. It must be absolutely electric right now. Let's take a look at our top 5, and we have ourselves a very, very interesting interesting leaderboard here, Takata. Then we have Steno and Lucia up top. They're 230 points. Wow, look how tight. Second and third place spot drawn there. But Steno and Lucia, I mean, you get yourself 18 eliminations, consistency on that kind of, all placement points as well. That the combination of the two gets them through top of the leaderboard, and it is massive going through the grand finals next week.
Look, it was too close for comfort, but Steno, Lucia, they are the ones that are feeling happy today. They played consistent. It paid off, but now they have to continue that momentum into grand finals, because consistency, when there's more than just one day of tournament, more than just 5 matches, 12 matches, 2 days, it's when you want to make it happen.
Yeah, they impressed me there, particularly Steno right there at the end, just clutching up the final few points as he could. But let's take a look at our top 5 all through from consistency. I mean, Please put trick, good day from them as well, just squeezing in by, I think it was 2 points we saw there on the leaderboards. They're really tight, but they made it happen.
Such fun. We saw there as well, like some teams towards the end of the end game there we saw as well. Head and Paco, we mentioned them earlier on today. I mean, Paco managed to clutch up, get quite far into with not enough points, though can't get quite into the top 5. But you're right, Tusa and Pucic, there we talked about quite a lot there. Lamar and Pachalva as well, and 190 points. But look at that, first and third place, 6 points separate first and third. That's how tight this competition, how desperate these players are to make it into grands.
And not only that, the 5th place to 6th place was only a 2-point difference.
Yeah.
I mean, it was insane. You were talking about the names that almost made it. Hen, Paco, Kylie, Vico were incredibly close, but Tus and Putrick are the ones that got that last placement, that 5th place spot, which was the last consistency qualifier to the grand final. So, they're feeling happy.
Yeah, I mean, Hen, we talked about him. I think they ended on 184, so that's 4 points off the top 5, which in this current format is 1 elimination off, which is the difference in this these type of events. It all makes the difference, Adam, and it's been great to watch.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
It is brutal. But however, we do have our 50 duos going through to next week, which is really exciting to see. We'll talk about those in a second. First things first, let's go back through the Victory Royales that happened earlier on today. Head over to Shayo and Levin. Break it down for us, fellas.
Thank you so much, Adam. I mean, looking at that top 5 inconsistency, it's like appreciating a smoldering fire. I want to go back to the flashy fireworks that were the VRs. I mean, the first one, Jerky, Levin. It was nuts to see this man sneak by undetected invisibility cloak or something, winning a game.
I've not been able to say this for a while, but it was Jura King in full force in game 1. Again, we didn't really expect them to do it. It was sort of from out of nowhere. It was heel off. He ran into zone with a slurp juice a bit too early, we thought. But he was able to find the med miss. It was enough to keep him going, and they secured a spot.
Yeah, Storm Slinkless on some sides, some crazy pressure on the others. This man stayed healthy past that. Clement and Floki, you can't have a finals without them, it feels like, throughout the history of the EUF and CS, and they took the game by storm.
Yeah, staples of the region. Of course, Clement for such a long time sort of held the record for most finals appearances, and now in this game, showing us why he is a player that is so revered in the region. This finish is just so clinical, so clutch, and again, French Fortnite, maybe an uprise for them going into the final.
Absolutely. Game 3 is where things started to switch up a little bit. We got to see a little bit of the classic FNCS powerhouses come in. Bevies, Pablo Wingu. It's just, another EU game.
A chance for redemption. A team that hasn't quite had the season they would have wanted to have. Major 1 was the height. Major 2 hasn't quite been that. This win would be a very, very high point for them, and of course a chance to play the final as well.
Yeah, it could really change their story, their legacy. Game 4, Jay and Cosmo, I think this is kind of the fighting force, devoting your heart so forth inside Surge Week. They played so well and just improved game after game after game, early, mid, and then 100% in game 4 late.
Yes, it's not often we get to see a team sort of hold height from even before first move in zone, and then just continue to hold it. Nobody topped them out. They built so high up, and they win the game as a result.
See, I dropped the map. We saw them in the first game, almost take it back. It took it all the way to game 5. I like that, though, because the way they won Levin, true Surge Week victory.
Yeah, of course, you expect teams to come out and win games from high. I drop at the very, very end. Oh my goodness, I'm sure he was shaking towards the end. It's not been the best season for iDrop. He's had his ups and downs personally. I've spoken to him at times. He's been feeling down. To see him get a spot in the grand finals, he'll be on top of the world. Big shout out to him.
Hey, this is an up. This is a big up. I mean, that's the 5 VRs. So much more, though. Analysts, what we got?
We've got something real special, and thank you guys for breaking this down for us. Something very, very amazing, considering that earlier on today we did have the Jura King going all the way. Thank you, Levin, for that one. And Jura King joins us right now here on screen. Jura King, dude, congratulations going through the grand finals. But I mean, if there's any way to do it, it's winning the first game of the day. You did it. I mean, you must be feeling top of the world right now.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, the feeling is just crazy. Winning the first game. Crazy. Busy coaching us. That's actually crazy. He's so smart. He's another level.
Great to see. Now, of course, you've been grinding all season. You finally won yourself a reboot round style game. It's great to see, and I'm super happy for you. But what are you going to be working on going to grand finals? What's the strats looking like?
I mean, obviously I can't go too in depth with the strats, but I mean, we do have one of the strongest POIs uncontested, which is right side Mega City. And if we're lucky enough, we're going to get the vault 12 out of 12 games, which is crazy. The mythic pump is just insane with the legendary slave juices. Gonna be our win potential there.
I love to hear it. And now look, those are a bit of in-game strategies. Are there any strategies outside of the game that you are doing to perform to the best of your ability?
Of course, I mean, I implemented fitness and training into my regimen as well, and I think that's been helping me a lot, just focusing on that a little bit.
Can you walk us through as well your victory royale at the beginning of the day here? Walk us through exactly how it happened from your perspective as a player from start to finish. How did you play that one out?
I mean, so first at like 4 p.m. I think Weezy invited us to a call and just walked us through some strategies that we're gonna do, and they were pretty simple. I'm not gonna lie, they were pretty basic, and we just executed them today, and it all went to plan, and you saw what happened.
We did indeed. You went all the way through, straight away to finals. Congratulations again. Where can we find you on socials online?
On socials and Twitter, you can find me at Jerky. That's Jur3ky. And on YouTube and on Twitter and Instagram.
Superb. Congratulations again, my friend. We'll see you next week in grand finals.
Thank you. Yeah, see ya.
Awesome, awesome. Jaruki right there. Amazing to see. Broadcast schedule as well. We have had weeks 1 through 3. We've had Surge Week now, and it's time next weekend for grand finals. We're there, boys. Mini, it's coming our way.
It's coming up. I'm excited. I'm super hyped to see which of our teams that maybe have gone through today can perform, because of course the lobby was already set for the first 3 weeks, but now these new entrants into the top, into the 50 teams is going to be amazing. I personally can't wait to go.
Look, Surge Week is exciting, but grand finals, it's another level. It's the moment we've all been waiting for, and I'm excited to see the Titans, the legends of competitive Fortnite on EU battle it out.
It's all coming our way. I mean, next weekend it's so close. I mean, I love Surge Week, but grand finals, lads. I mean, we're only, what, 7 days away? I mean, Levin, Chayo, what was it like for your experience today as casting all the action as well? I mean, you seem to be enjoying yourselves immensely out there.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be like Jericho. You know what I'm saying? I got to hit the gym routine like him, bruv. Yeah, that guy's looking powerful right now. Look, it was a fun day. Fun day. I think you can always expect fun victory royales from these teams in Surgery. It's sort of what it's all about, right?
Yeah, I feel surged up. That's my tagline of the day.
Surged up.
Surged up.
I like that. That's great. That's great.
Levin looks it too.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
the way he's going.
Surged up.
Energized. Mountain. The guy's a man mountain. It's been incredible. I mean, Surge Week was absolutely brilliant. We got 50 duos ready and waiting for next weekend, though. I mean, so many big teams qualified, Mini. This is going to be quite the competition.
So many big teams qualified. A couple of names that we'd expect to be in Grands didn't qualify as well. Of course, Vico and Kylie being one of them. I think they'll have to go back to the drawing board, try and fix a few mistakes that they've had, especially having uncontested South Slappy. That was a difficult one for me to process. Just to think, like, Vico, not in finals, what's going on?
Look, they'll have an opportunity next season. Hentaco as well. I mean, there's a lot of big names that didn't make it, but they'll have another opportunity.
I don't think those guys will stay with each other. I don't think they will. Look, they've had their highs, they've had their big moments, they've provided us with great memories over time. But, you know, these are talented players. They haven't worked this combination, this formula. I wouldn't be surprised if some other teams who, again, we expected to make it to finals that didn't decide, hey, look, you want to play? Kylie, you want to play? Hen, you want to play?
Or maybe it's a gym buff. You know, seeing Jerry through the first day. Just get to the gym, lads. That's all it is.
I like kind of the format and the gameplay I saw, right? The meta so far inside Surge Week, a little bit away from the pizza partying. So I'm looking forward to seeing all the people in finals adapt to that too. Yeah. A bunch of these guys finding their drop spots as well, because some of them qualified out of different places. And yeah, we'll see how things change.
We certainly will. It's been an absolute blast. We've enjoyed every single second of this. Next weekend, we have EU finals coming your way. The grand finals, 50 duos have now been officially confirmed for finals. We can't wait to see you there tomorrow. Of course, you have the surgery for NA as well. Do not miss that. From us, though, it's goodbye. We will see you out there on the Battle Bus.
Marie Clément, par exemple, Game 2. Top 1 exemple. Bravo, déjà. comprends rien. Ben moi aussi je comprends rien. Vas-y, pose tes pieds. Désolé, est-ce que je suis chiant, mais est-ce que tu pourrais monter un peu ta voix? Ah mais c'est toi Darren. Ma voix elle est tranquille ma voix. C'est pas fini là. Si, c'est fini. Normalement, c'est fini, après je sais pas. Mais je préfère attendre, tu vois, on sait jamais. Et n'hésitez pas à vous abonner les gens, merci à tous les gens qui s'abonnent, qui partagent le live. Merci énormément, merci à vous. Et l'autre depuis tout à l'heure là-bas, il est en train de faire le clown. Vu que tu sais que c'est fini, tu vas faire quoi après? Après, je pense que je vais faire... Je sais pas. Je sais pas après je vais faire quoi. Ou du duo, du trio, je sais pas moi. Par contre, le vent que je l'ai mis. Ah, vas-y, t'es chaud. Voilà, tu forces. Mec, le vent il était violent. T'as vu ça? Non mais tu forces là. Arrête de forcer. Il y a un chauffe, il attend de pleurer. Tu veux un biberon? Tu veux un câlin? Oh, pipi. Moi je force. Ouais, arrête de forcer parce que je vais te bloquer.
C'est fini, c'est F-I-N-I. T'as pas compris? Oh, c'est pas bien.
Parce que depuis tout à l'heure tu forces, ouais, je sais pas, depuis tout à l'heure tu viens. Faut arrêter de forcer.
Ceci dit, je préfère un peu mon appelé que la octone.
Ok, dès que j'arrête.
largement la remake.
Après, une fois, deux fois, c'est bon, tu vois, mais trois fois, quatre fois, à un moment donné, c'est bon. À un moment donné, c'est gamin.
Bébé, licence, je ne sais une. Et moi, tu vas les acheter ou ça fait quoi, toi? Que je-
Je vais faire car tu es le seul à répondre à mes questions. Ouais, mais même si je suis le seul à répondre, frérot, à un moment donné, quand je te demande s'il te plaît, arrête de forcer. Ça sera gentil de ta part, tu vois. Et l'autre, il est en train de se laver à côté, là. Tu veux du gel douche? Je pense qu'il veut du gel douche. Tu veux du gel douche? Tu veux un mouchoir? Tu veux un mouchoir?
Si on gagne ou si on perd, on s'en bat les couilles.
L'autre est en train de prendre un bain. Toi, t'es en train de pleurer.
Non, je dis on s'en bat les
Toi, je sais pas, t'es en train de faire quoi? Toi, je sais pas. Bon, du coup, je quitte le live. Au revoir, au revoir. Bonne soirée, Pierre.
2000 crédits. En réalité, il en vaut que 150.
Le 80% bah, tranquille. Ok, l'aime.
Non, je vais pas discuter.
Tu sais pourquoi il prend un bain?
Je veux pas le niveau SSD.
Tu sais pourquoi il prend un bain? Parce qu'il pue, c'est pour ça qu'il prend un bain. Non, je rigole.
Wesh, le sauvetage,
Je rigole, mon ami Jason. Et l'autre il est en train de faire du tourniquet là. N'hésitez pas à vous abonner à la chaîne, les gens. Merci à tous les gens qui s'abonnent. Ça va, tu prends. Ça va, il est joli ton bain. Je t'aime bien comme youtubeur. Merci à toi Pierre, merci énormément. Je sais pas, j'ai envie de troller des gens. Pierre, essaie de le laver. Je pense qu'il a besoin d'aide pour derrière le dos. Pour derrière le dos là, il a besoin d'aide. Lave-le. Mais oui, je sais pas si c'est fini ou pas. Mais normalement, oui, c'est fini. pense qu'il s'est endormi, je pense.
C'est fini.
Bah alors, si c'est fini, pourquoi tu quittes pas? Parce que je suis bien ici. Mec, t'as beaucoup de tokens, non? Pas beaucoup de tokens, moi. Non, je rigole. De quoi tu rigoles?
Je dis pas bonne journée. Je dis pas bonne journée, mais super journée. Je dis pas bonne journée, mais super journée.
Est-ce que t'as beaucoup de skins? Bah attends, je vais vous faire montrer mes skins déjà. En parlant de ça.
Là, ouais.
En parlant de skins, je vais vous faire montrer mes skins. Est-ce que ça vous dit que je vous fais montrer mes skins déjà? Bon, j'ai celui-là comme skin, j'ai la fléchette de la saison 6, chapitre 3, saison 4, championnat de l'éclaireuse, j'ai celui-là, chapitre 2, saison 1. Je pense si les gens qui ont joué au chapitre 2, je pense que vous le connaissez ce skin. Et les gens ils se rappellent de ce skin, c'est sûr. Celui-là. Celui-là, après j'ai celui-là.
Ah oui, il faut des heures d'entraînement.
Après j'ai celui-là. Après j'ai celui-là. Attends, je vous fais montrer tous les skins comme ça. Celui-là, j'ai celui-là.
Sache que j'ai 6 comptes abonnés à cette chaîne. Je peux te faire pareil si tu veux. Je peux te faire gagner 6 abonnés là avec vous si tu veux.
Après j'ai celui-là. 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 Celui-là aussi. Celui-là.
Non. Il va dire, mais c'est complètement chelou là.
J'ai celui-là. J'ai celui-là.
Excuse-moi, mais ma chaîne YouTube, elle...
Oui, j'ai celui-là aussi.
On compte de la merde. Pour de la merde avec sa licence ou c'est comment?
Après, j'ai celui-là aussi. Celui-là.
Ouais, j'avoue. Ouais, t'as fini?
J'ai celui-là.
Bon, t'as fini?
Celui-là.
Bah oui.
Après, j'ai celui-là. Et voilà. Et après les sacs, j'en ai plein, j'en ai énormément. J'ai celui-là, j'ai celui-là, j'ai celui-là, celui-là, celui-là. Après moi, je joue depuis le chapitre 2, les gens. C'est pas mal, je devais faire un défi de mode. Donc, à pas mal, je devais faire un défi de mode. Un défi de mode? Non, je vais pas faire un défi de mode. Après, j'ai tout ça comme pioche. J'en ai énormément de pioches. Après, j'ai beaucoup de parapluies par contre. Et par contre, il y a beaucoup de gens qui me demandent mon carrière de mon niveau de compte. Mon niveau de compte, il est marqué juste là. Je suis à 1400, 1400, je sais pas combien. Voilà, si vous voulez voir mon niveau de compte, il est juste en haut. Et après, en profil, là, je vous fais montrer en solo. Ça, c'est en solo. Ça, c'est en duo.
Non. Il est toujours sur Fortnite.
Ça, c'est en section.
Ah, quand du Rocket League?
Bientôt, je vais faire du Rocket League. Mode temps, et voilà. Ça, c'est le mode temps.
Rocket League, Rocket League, Rocket League.
Maintenant, tu devrais monter ton niveau en game. Mon niveau en game? De quoi mon niveau en game? Tu me parles de quel niveau? Je suis au niveau 101, mon ami.
101.
Tu parles de niveau de game, je suis au niveau 101. Alors si tu me parles de 101... 101, c'est énorme, hein.
Oh. 101, c'est énorme. Je crois pas, non.
C'est, hein. Moi, non, je parle en partie.
Moi.
En partie, si, j'en ai fait... Après, oui, ah, tu parles en carrière. Tu parles en carrière, tu parles de ça.
Non.
Après, si, ça va. Après, partie jouée, 3141, c'est énorme. Ça, c'est en duo, 1800. Et ça, c'est en solo, je suis à 1762 parties jouées. Et en total, je suis parti jouer, je suis à 900, voilà quoi. Et joueurs éliminés, 3334. Non, non, mais tu devais faire une partie pour montrer ton niveau en game. Ah, mais moi j'ai un très bon niveau, mon ami. J'ai un très bon niveau. Si vous voulez, je vous fais montrer un petit game, hein. Mais j'ai un très bon niveau. Bon allez, on va faire un peu de solo, les gens. C'est bien joli et joli. C'est bien joli de parler maintenant, montre-nous. C'est bien joli de parler maintenant, montre-nous. Bah t'inquiète pas, je vais vous faire montrer. Et même, je suis pas là pour me justifier. Hein. Tout à l'heure, j'ai fait top 1. Tout à l'heure, j'en ai fait plusieurs top 1. Hein.
Fais-nous un bon top 1.
On va essayer. Mais tout à l'heure, j'en ai déjà fait un top 1. Allez voir ma rediff de l'autre live, vous verrez. Hein. Et j'ai fait deux top 1. Hein. J'ai fait top 1 normal et un top 1 royal. Moi, bon, ben moi je vais dormir, je vais dors bien, bonne nuit. On va se couper ici. y a un mec qui est juste là-bas. Top 16 j'ai fait, ça va top 16, c'est quand même pas mal hein. C'est quand même pas mal top 16. Et n'hésitez pas à vous abonner les gens, merci à tous les gens qui s'abonnent, qui partagent le live. Mais non, mais après je m'en fous pas, mais je l'aimerais. Mais je pense que je vais aller en arène un peu. Je vais aller un peu en arène. Bon allez. On va faire un peu de l'arène.
Allez, vas-y, rage quitter, rage quitter, rage quitter. À toi.
De quoi division 1? Je suis pas au division 1 moi. Pourquoi ils m'ont mis division 1? De base je suis au division 4, vous avez bien vu? C'est bizarre ça. Division 1, ouais, t'as raison toi. Ça doit être un bug, je pense. Ouais, c'est un bug. Ouais, c'est un bug, ouais, c'est un bug. Oh, ça bug sa mère, wesh. Oh, c'est incroyable, ça. Ça bug carrément. Putain, c'est abusé. C'est abusé comment ça bug. Après aussi, je pense qu'il doit y avoir trop de monde aussi. Faut que j'arrive à dépasser aux divisions 5 ou division 6.
Mais pardon, j'ai eu une partie